Why your AI prompts are producing garbage, and a simple fix that changes everything. As a business leader, have you ever opened ChatGPT? You type in a prompt, you hit enter, and a few seconds later, the response comes back, and it is very disappointing. It is very generic, basic, the kind that you could have written it yourself and it would be more useful. So you close the tab and you try again some other time, but still you are getting the same result. At that point, many people come to the same conclusion: AI is overrated. The hype is bigger than the value, and there's no need to use AI. I hear this from career people and business leaders all the time. But here's the point: if that has been your experience, the problem is usually not the AI. The problem is the instructions you give the AI. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly why that happens and how to fix it. Going back, think about the last time you used AI to write something at work. So what prompt do you give it? How does it look like? Was it something like the one I have on my screen here? Write an email about the meeting. This is very weak and very generic, and what AI will give back to you depends on the quality of your input. From this prompt, you probably get something very generic like, "Dear team, I hope this email finds you well," and so on. And after that, there is nothing particularly useful you are going to get. Now, here is what most people get wrong. They think AI has failed them, but it didn't. AI did exactly what you asked it to do. You gave it a vague instruction and it gave you a vague response. This is the biggest mistake I see with professionals that I have worked with. The issue is not the technology, the issue is the instruction. AI works very much like a conversation. The quality of what you get depends heavily on the quality of what you put in. Now, let me talk about the 4 mistakes most leaders make while I'm working with them. Number one, they give too vague instructions. So when they are typing in their prompt, they give it very vague instruction. Like the example we talked about before, write an email about the meeting. Also, they didn't give context. When they're writing the prompt, they didn't give context. They just say, draft a proposal with no context. Likewise, the tone of what you want from the output is missing. Like for this prompt, now write a feedback for an underperforming employee. How do you want the output to be? Do you want to be encouraging? Do you want to be firm? And like those are very, very important when you're giving your prompt to AI. Then there's no specifics. So if you're using AI to analyze data, you have to be specific on what you want from the result. So these are 4 important mistakes I see from business leaders or career people when they are using AI. The good news is there is a simple fix. And this simple fix is what I call the 5-part prompt framework. When I started helping business leaders use AI more effectively, I noticed something very interesting. The people struggling the most were not inexperienced professionals. They were often highly experienced leaders, people who manage teams, people who make important decisions every day, people who are genuinely smart. They will open ChatGPT or Cloud, they will try the first thing that came into their mind, and they are going to get a poor result. And immediately they are going to decide that AI is not good for them or is not ready for a serious work in the business context. Then I will take the same requests that they make, same tools, same objective, but I will structure the prompt to this 5-part prompt framework. And suddenly the output looks very different. It is more relevant, more practical, and more useful. Nothing changed in the prompt except the framework. So this 5-part framework comes directly from the chapter 1 of my ebook, AI Mastery for Business Leaders. It is the foundation behind every AI use cases I covered in the book. And today, I'm going to explain the first 2 parts, and then I will show you the remaining 3 parts to complete a prompt for us to work on. Now, the framework has 5 parts. The first one is context. It talks about who you are and the situation. The second one is role, what expert role you want AI to take. The third one is task, exactly what you need the AI to do. We are going to talk about it. The format, how the response should look like, the output you are getting from the AI, how do you want it to look like. And the fifth one is the constraint. Here you are going to talk about the tone, the length, what to include and what not to include. So the first one is the most important part of the framework, and this is where most people get it wrong. They usually ignore it. So context. Context tells AI who you are and what situation you are dealing with. So why does this matter? AI has no idea who you are. One of the biggest mistakes people make is assuming AI already understands their situation. It doesn't. AI does not know who you are. It does not know your industry. It does not know your company and doesn't know what you have achieved. Likewise, it doesn't know what you are trying to achieve. When you leave out that information, AI is filling the gap with generic assumptions about you. This is why many responses feel very generic. Context solves this problem. Context simply means you are telling AI who you are and what situation you are dealing with. For example, if you look at this prompt here, it says, I am a regional sales manager at a logistic company in Ghana, responsible for managing relationship with enterprise clients. So this is context. It talks about who you are, what's your industry like, and what you are currently doing. This is very specific and it gives AI the context. So when the result is coming out, AI is going to write exactly for your role, your industry, and your context. AI no longer writes for random manager, it is writing for a regional sales manager in a logistic company working with enterprise clients in Ghana. See how specific that is. The responses are going to be more relevant to you. Now, the more useful context you provide, the better the AI can tailor its responses. The second part is the role. This is where you tell AI what professional perspective you want it to use for you. Think about the amount of information AI has been trained on, sales data, finance data, marketing data, negotiation, operations, HR, customer service, strategy, and much more. When you assign a role, you are telling AI which knowledge base to draw from. The example we have for role is that act as a negotiation expert who works with corporate clients. AI now understand the lens it should use. It's no longer responding to a general assistant, it's responding as a negotiation specialist. So it's going to adapt a tone of a negotiation expert. So that's why role is also very important in your prompt. So the language is going to change, the structure is also going to change. Now, if you want to read more about the other three parts of the prompt, you can read more about it in my ebook. Now, the complete prompt, the third part is tasks. So it's where you are telling AI actual activities you want it to do. So here we are saying that you should write an email to a client who has not paid their invoice, and then the format, keep it under 150 words with a clear subject line. The constraint, use professional and firm tone. So this is the third reminder. So putting it all together, I'm going to copy the 5 parts and then turn it to a complete one prompt so we can see what we get. Now, it doesn't matter order in which you put the 5 different parts. In as much as everything is there, you're going to get a good response. Now, look at this. Dear client name, this is our third reminder regarding the outstanding invoice number, which remains unpaid despite previous follow-ups. We value our business relationship and request that payment be made immediately to avoid any disruption to services. If payment is already being processed, please share the payment confirmation for our record. Otherwise, confirm the payment date by returning it. Now, when you compare this line by line, number one, the context. It follows our context that you are a regional sales manager, so enterprise clients. So the response is tailored to that context. So then for the constraint, it said professional and firm tone. This is the third reminder. So this was mentioned in the email. This is our third reminder regarding the outstanding invoice. Now, when you look at the tone of the email, it is professional and it is firm. Likewise, it's keeping the email under 150 words, as you can see. Then it wrote a clear subject line. Third reminder, outstanding invoice payments required. See, same tax, different results. If I am to just write an email about an unpaid invoice. Let's see what we are going to get with that new chat. Write an email about the unpaid invoice. Now, when you look at this, compare it to this one. Now, when you compare both of them side by side, we see that this one is more personalized than this generic one. So it's talking about the third reminder. This one doesn't have anything like third reminder. It's talking about how we value business relationship. This one does not talk about anything. Then this one sounds more professional and firm as opposed to this one. You see the difference between having context and a 5-part framework as opposed to just giving a generic prompt to the AI. So that's why I said a weak prompt is going to give you a generic, no tone, and it's going to waste your time. Whereas if you use the 5-part framework, it's going to give you a professional and firm tone, ready to send, and you probably spend less than 2 minutes with the stronger prompt. Now, as a business professional, this is what I want you to do after watching this video. Find your next email to write at work, and before you write anything, write your context statement first. It's very important. Then add the role that one there to take, then the task, the constraint, and the format to complete the 5-part framework. See the difference, run and see the difference to what you have been getting before. The complete 5-part framework is covered in chapter 1 of AI mastery for business leaders. Inside the book, I break down all the 5 parts in detail and show real examples across industries, including banking, healthcare, agriculture, real estate, and logistics. The book also includes ready-to-use AI personas and usable prompts that you can build on and use repeatedly instead of starting from scratch every time. You also see how to apply this framework to 6 common business tasks that many leaders still do manually today that can be completed within minutes using AI. The link is in the description. If you find this video useful, please subscribe. I'll be sharing more practical AI strategies and examples for business leaders and career people. My name is Timileyin. I'm a retail program manager and AI mastery coach. I help business people and career people to master the use of AI to get ahead in their businesses and their career. Thank you.